Have you ever just looked up at a night sky filled with stars and galaxies and found yourself wondering about the sheer mysteries of the universe? It's such a fundamental human experience, isn't it? Well, welcome to this explainer. I'm Mohammed Iftihar, and you're tuning into the Iftihar Learning Hub. Today, we're diving into a really intriguing set of educational sources. We're going to explore the intersection of ancient scripture and modern science. Specifically, we'll look at how a text revealed over 1,400 years ago, the Qur'an, is viewed through the lens of what scholars call scientific miracles. We'll see how these sources draw some fascinating connections between historical verses and contemporary fields like astronomy, oceanography, and embryology.
So, let's jump right in and set our baseline. Before we get to the really cool specific examples in our source texts, we have to ask the big question: what exactly is a scientific miracle? It's a term you might hear a lot, and it essentially bridges two worlds that people often think of as totally separate: theology on one hand and empirical science on the other. To answer that, our source materials give us a very clear, specific definition. They define a scientific miracle as scientific facts that were told by the Quran and subsequently proved by experimental science. Essentially, the idea here is that certain descriptions of the natural world found inside this 7th century text perfectly align with discoveries that we could only verify centuries later, using modern scientific tools and methodologies.
Just look at the striking juxtaposition here. On one side, you have the Earth, representing the realm of global empirical science, and on the other, the Quran. This brilliantly illustrates the core theme of our source curriculum today. The idea is that divine revelation and empirical observation aren't viewed as adversaries fighting each other. Instead, they're complementary lenses. The text isn't seen as a science textbook, but rather as an open invitation to humanity to observe, think, and reflect deeply on the signs of creation.
Okay, moving right along to our first section, astronomy and the universe. Let's look upwards and see the specific examples highlighted in the text to demonstrate this concept.
Our source material points us right to Surah 25, verse 61. It reads, "Blessed is the one who placed the constellations in heaven, and placed in it a lamp, or siraj, and a moon, giving light, or munira." Now, on the surface, that's just a beautiful, poetic description of the night sky, right? But the educational materials ask us to look a little closer at the specific Arabic vocabulary being used here.
The really crucial point is the distinction between those Arabic words. The curriculum points out that siraj actually refers to a blazing lamp or torch, something that actively generates its own heat and light, and that word is used for the sun. Conversely, munira defines a body that merely reflects light, and that's applied to the moon. Now today, modern astronomy confirms this as a basic fact. Our sun is a glowing sphere of gas actively generating its own light, while the moon, it just reflects the sun's light. Our sources highlight this remarkable linguistic precision as a prime example of a scientific miracle.
And those astronomical connections, they definitely don't stop there. The documents also point us to Surah Al-Anbiya, chapter 21, verse 30, which the curriculum links to the actual expansion of the universe. It was only in the 20th century that modern astronomy, most famously through the observations of Edwin Hubble, established that our universe isn't just static, it is continuously expanding outwards. The source texts present this verse as containing a clear reference to this immense cosmic phenomenon, well before the invention of the telescope. Let's shift gears now to our next section, oceanography and human embryology. From the staggering vastness of the expanding cosmos, we are going to dive deep down into the uncharted oceans and then look inward at the microscopic beginnings of human life.
First up, under oceanography, the curriculum highlights Surah An-Nur, verse 2440. This verse describes a profound, layered darkness in the deep sea. Now, what makes this so notable in the context of scientific miracles is that the deep ocean truly is entirely devoid of light. But that's a physical reality that humans could only verify in modern times, using advanced submersibles and modern marine technology. To the naked eye standing on the surface, what's happening deep in the ocean is simply inaccessible.
Moving from marine biology over to human biology, we find a huge emphasis on embryology in our sources. They direct students to Surah Al-Mu'minun 23:12 through 14, which literally describes the sequential biological stages of human embryonic development. On top of that, Surah Az-Zumar 39:6 is cited for detailing the complex layers of the womb. According to the curriculum, these descriptions correspond incredibly well with the microscopic and developmental stages that modern medical embryology has mapped out.
Now, while astronomy and embryology definitely get a lot of attention, what you really should take away here is the sheer breadth of topics claimed by the curriculum. Our sources list an unbelievable array of fields. We're talking about the deep, stabilizing roots of mountains in geology, the fundamental role of water for all living things in botany, early hints at genetics, atomic energy, cloud formation, and even magnetism. It illustrates a worldview where scientific curiosity is deeply intertwined across literally every discipline. Moving right along to Section 3, Real-Life Impact and Application. You might be wondering, why does this matter today? How does studying these historical texts actually translate to modern society? Let's take a look.
The educational framework provides a really fantastic, concrete example of this application in action, the UAE link. The curriculum shows how understanding the harmony between faith and science directly supports modern national visions. It specifically cites the UAE Mars mission, famously known as the Hope Probe. This brilliantly illustrates a modern Muslim nation excelling at the absolute highest levels of space exploration and astronomy. It shows a society inspired to pursue knowledge and research while remaining deeply rooted in its ethical and faith-based identity. It's really all about inspiring that next generation of doctors, engineers, and astronauts.
So, to summarize the broader impact, our sources outlined 5 key steps or outcomes for individuals who study these scientific miracles. Number 1, it increases their personal faith. 2, and this is absolutely crucial, it actively encourages research, investigation, and exploration of the natural world. 3, it establishes the authenticity of the text for believers. 4, it proves the truthfulness of the message. And 5, it rectifies and settles the relationship between science and faith. It presents them not as enemies, but as true partners in the search for ultimate truth.
We've covered a vast journey today, from the blazing light of the sun to the dark depths of the ocean. The source materials leave us with this powerful thought. Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth are signs for those who reflect. Whether you approach this through the lens of empirical science, deep faith, or just historical curiosity, it leaves us with a totally fascinating question. If a 7th century text can inspire a 21st century mission to Mars, what other ancient insights might be waiting to be rediscovered by modern science? I'm Mohammed Iftihar, and I want to thank you for joining me on this explainer today for the Iftihar Learning Hub. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more educational and inspirational content.
Discover the profound harmony between divine revelation and cosmic discovery as we delve into the Holy Qur'an and its scientific miracles. Our journey begins with defining the concept of scientific miracles, comparing them to scientific exegesis, and exploring their implications. We'll also develop critical skills like comparative analysis and evidentiary reasoning. We'll map our lesson through key words, Islamic values, and cross-curricular links, integrating astronomy and space exploration to enrich our understanding. We start by contemplating the cosmic trajectory, questioning the sun's path and its implications in modern astronomy. Explore the concept of scientific inimitability, where the Quran's linguistic miracle presents an immediate challenge, unmatched by scientific discoveries. We distinguish between scientific facts and theories, using examples to clarify their differences and implications. Discover the 4 pillars of scientific inimitability, each reinforcing the harmony between divine revelation and scientific inquiry. Learn the criteria for scientific exegesis, ensuring interpretations align with divine infallibility and authentic revelation. Marvel at the miracle of the expanding universe, a concept captured in the Quran and confirmed by modern science. Engage in collaborative analysis to map the scientific miracles within the Quran, aligning them with exegesis criteria. Reflect on your learning achievements, assessing your understanding of scientific inimitability and Quranic verses. Synthesize the core truth and criteria, understanding the harmony between science and divine revelation through a structured approach. Challenge the notion that scientific inimitability is outdated by writing a defense report, utilizing evidence and Quranic references.